I was just sitting here listening to somebody online, Infinite Waters. He said, he was talking about frequency and energy, Nicole Tesla. That's it, y'all. He explained it like I've been trying to explain it all this time. That's exactly what I've been trying to say when I say good is bad. Good and bad is one and the same, just two different extremes. That's all it is, bro. That's all it is. It's like, and it shows you how you gotta have a balance in things. He gonna get to this part where it's about Aleister Crowley. And a lot of y'all gonna turn out, oh, he the devil. Y'all just need to listen to what he got to say, though. Just listen to what he got to say, because what I was just saying in the house, I said, people like that boxed me up when I was young. And because I couldn't expand my horizons, I kept getting trapped in these situations for years. You know, like 5 years at a time, get out for 2 years, 5 years, it was like back and forth, back and forth. And then I said, wait a minute, God. You ain't gonna let this keep happening to me if you ain't trying to teach me something. And that's what it was. God taught me, I had to think outside of the box. He ain't teaching you about the evil and the evil, this, evil, that. That ain't what he teaching. He teaching you why, because I seen it myself. I saw evil people consistently getting blessed. And it made no sense. I mean, yeah, I'm learning right now at the moment about the unfair gene, but everybody don't have that gene. So I'm like, how is these people? I saw a lot of people getting blessed. And it was because somehow they respected, somehow their frequency was high. They was elevating high. And this is what balanced the playing field, the neutral playing field of things just being negative and positive. You see what I'm saying? And that's what we wanted. It's just negative and positive, you know? It ain't evil and good, it's negative and positive. And what, okay, how do that work? They're not affecting the light. They only really true from what I witnessed now growing up in the street, the good G's, the good thugs, the good people of the night that I met, they're not forcing their life on the light. It's almost like they keep themselves at bay. And I don't want to explain it no more because I can't explain it like he explained. So I advise everybody go watch that video. And like I said, let your heart take control when it get to the other part. And you gonna see that he just trying to explain, which was good. You did an outstanding job. He just explaining how these people, because we all had these questions. Why do this person got this? God don't love me. Because we was taught, we was programmed to not understand energy. And that's what kept a certain group of people in power. And this right here ain't got nothing to do with racism and color, y'all. This got to do with, this really just players playing on other players' ignorance. That's all it was. It was a game. And then, because you got to ask yourself, why ain't God intervening? Well, there you go. It's a game. If I'm finna score the touchdown and I just did a play, it's a legitimate play. You never seen the play before. Ain't nothing wrong with me scoring the touchdown. You know? That's it. But I ain't gonna say too much. I'm under the weather, y'all. I ain't even been able to tap in without going to sleep. I'm under the weather. I'm gonna try to go to bed a little early tonight so I can get up in the morning. I try to stay on my routines and still try to get on here and elevate y'all. I know God got it. I'm not worried about it at all. I just hate being tired. But they studying something right now. For 2 weeks now they've been studying. There's all this magic people been throwing. And they finally a little bit kinda getting out of the sex round, which thank God, my God. Oh, the noise. Oh my God. But anyway, I want to say this, and everybody on this topic about like God is inside of us. Yeah, we all are God, one body. You can call a white man God like you can call a black man God. Everything is God. I am that I am. Go read the Bible. Like I said, read the Bible. Don't just read the Bible. Read the Bible. And in the Old Testament, when God got upset, God would consume you. What he doing? He's eating back up his organ. You being disobedient. He put you here to. I always like to use this for an example. Take it with a grain of salt, but it's just my personal example. I ain't got it out the spiritual, nothing like that. Just from reading different books, and I just put it together like that, and I just imagine God falling to earth and falling into 8.2 billion people, a part of God anyway. And he needs you to discipline yourself. And then, all of a sudden, when you finally done disciplining yourself, you're back to one body again. That's it. That simple. That easy. That's why no matter if you're wealthy or poor, no matter what you do, the same issues keep occurring because that's probably where your purpose lives. 9 times out of 10, that is where your purpose lives. When God told me what my purpose was at, I was shocked. I was going to be able to sit right there in that room. I traveled a lot. Well, not a lot, but enough for my situation in life. And some reason I kept being boomerang back to the house. I was trying to get away from here. I couldn't get away, no matter what, no matter where I went. And then come to find out my purpose was right here anyway. And the best thing I could have did was prep through my life to get ready for this moment. That was it. And man, thank God. I thank God for it now. Because what am I learning in this purpose? Well, the most important part and the greatest part about all this is that, which was one of my biggest dreams, is that I get to work with God to help elevate the world in such a beautiful way. That was one of my main dreams, and I'm living my dream right here at this moment. So I want to thank God for that. But also he teaching me the congruism. It's like I turned into the Ant-Man and went into the human cells, and I'm learning about congruism in that degree. That's beautiful to me. It's like it's a whole nother world when you turn into the Ant-Man and you go into the human cell. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole nother world, bro. You see that the human body is a pyramid. You see that the human body is a space for God to reside in. And then, okay, now let's look at this, the Bible. Every time they want, show me you, Lord. You know, they always want God to show them to you. But God, it was like God spoke to him through the burning bush, but God was really speaking to him from inside, inside itself. So what do this mean? There's a heaven. This means that all that stuff that y'all see is there. There's a place to go after this. I'm gonna say that. There's a dark place you can go to. It's another other place. There's other realms you could go to. Of course. Dimensions, yes. And they just as brilliant. I can prove it to the whole world right here, right now. Your mind don't fabricate nothing. I know that's gonna scare some of you, but it should open up a lot of you. Your mind doesn't fabricate anything. You literally are remembering something. And like I said, when I seen my brother Jesus Christ, he was flying. I don't know if I could see because I was going through something as he was flying me to God. But I didn't see no wings. It looked like he was flying like Dragon Ball in there. So, and there's other things I've seen which I just don't want to feel like really saying right now. But yeah, everything y'all see. So just thank God for that. I always look at this like this. Planet Earth is kindergarten. And all we really been doing, you got 171 lifetimes to get your purpose right in this life. And it's sad already that it take that many lifetimes just to get it right, especially when you find out that it's free of charge. But I always say it like this. Planet Earth is kindergarten. And when you go to hell, you just going back from purgatory to kindergarten. Not hell, but you going from, well, yeah. When you go to hell, you going from kindergarten to Head Start, back forward. Kindergarten from Head Start, kindergarten to Head Start. You want to go forward, but in order for us to go forward, we must raise our frequency. And when you really look into the depth of raising your frequency, like my man said, that's really gonna take you cleansing your DNA. So when you look at this in this beautiful, to me, scientific way that seemed to be challenging, but really not challenging, now we see why Jesus was, and the Bible speaks about no sexual immorality and all that stuff, and why Jesus was a virgin, and you know, as grown as he was, why would you must want to be a virgin if you that old. So the question isn't he was the child of God and he stayed a virgin. Jesus was basically just a walking manuscript on what we need to do to become closer to God. You got to go back to the empty. See, if anything, these vessels that we in are the illusions, because we are really just energy. Y'all ain't hearing me now. Because we are really just energy. Thank you, God. Because we are really just energy. So you need to ask yourself, okay, we really just energy. What's going on here? You cleansing your DNA. So when you look at the Bible, he said, you got to do this. That's too much. No, you got to do that to raise your frequency. Because even the sex, to me, even the sex that we enjoy having in this physical is only just an illusion. Because we already exist in the empty. This whole thing it don't matter, blue pill, red pill, it don't matter. You take them both. And you still gonna be here. Our job is to go back to the empty, you know? Somewhat like that. And you're gonna realize you're gonna start to heal and your frequency gonna start to rise. And as your frequency rise, things gonna bend around you. Just like he said. And you're not gonna have problems. You really think you have a problem, you try harder, you're a great artist, but for some reason, you can't get from point A to point B. That's because you don't understand frequency, you don't understand energy. The rules of life. The rules of energy. I didn't know it. I'm just now starting it in 2020 and I done came a long way. If I knew this when I was young, you wouldn't see me neither. I'd be up there with I'd be 0%. I'd be the 0%. 0%. You got the 1%, you got the 0%. Okay, what 2% at? You get what I'm saying? But yeah, and this is what make us ourselves a danger to nature, cause we don't want to respect these laws. But now we see that Jesus wasn't doing it because God sent him here to do it, and this and that. Jesus was basically a walking blueprint on what we need to do to elevate to the point to where we can heal ourselves. So now let's look at illnesses. Obviously, when illnesses even came into effect, it was obviously a plan from the devil. Because Jesus kept saying, surely I'll tell you the truth if you only knew my Father. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's even Jesus, when you listen to the way Jesus was speaking, he was basically saying it's all an illusion. It is. I've been sitting here for 5 years. I learned what I learned in 5 years and how I've been healing myself remarkably and miraculously. Well, through God been healing me with no physician is amazing. And it was all from studying the way that Jesus walked. So it ain't about studying the Bible. This is that, and this is the next turn, and we looking for this. No, it's saying we all are Jesus. We all need to transform into Jesus if we really truly want to heal. And I was listening to my Lim today, and you right. She was like, if you want something, you have to prep for it. You have to prove to God that you are willing to embrace it and take it on and, you know, basically become one with it. That's so true. It's just like what I said, what I've been saying. It's like whatever your energy, whatever you got your mind focused on, you gotta go through these trials and tribulations, which for me take 5 to 10 years, where you are literally cleansing yourself and you are disciplining yourself and you are respecting morality, and you like I said, you're disciplining yourself all the way around, and you are putting your time and that energy. And the hardest part and the most important part that I've been understanding is the fact of not doubting and not letting your mind wander off to other things. And bada bing, bada boom, it's gonna manifest itself. I didn't even know this, y'all. So it's like, if you want this money, you just gotta, if you want money, whatever you want, you gotta just apply yourself. And then, but first and foremost, you must heal yourself, heal your inner child. God is inside of all of us. So that's why Jesus, like I said, that's why he cleansed the DNA. He kept his DNA to himself, because he probably seen the same way that I seen. I wouldn't mind having a lover. I would love to have a lover. But if my lover gonna go out and share our DNA, then that's gonna cause total chaos inside of my temple. So I would just wait until God bring me my lover. Now, making a mistake, okay. And it even talks about that in the Bible. It even tell you how long you need to go, be alone, and how long, if something like that was to happen, how long you need to be alone, how long you need to remain alone. I mean, like, when I say remain alone, like, don't have sexual contact with your partner and this and that. It goes into detail. And I was just guessing it when I said it, because I missed that part when I was reading the Bible in the past. I heard it this time, though. And it was like, they really need to stay to themselves until that DNA filter itself out. Everything is just a process. It ain't like God forcing us to do nothing. God is actually just, the God inside of us is telling us how we need to live so we don't have these problems that we've been having. That's all it is. That's all it is. All this other stuff we got going on, it's just an illusion outside of an illusion. All right? Having this vessel is an illusion. Okay, then we make more illusions. Then we get a car. Everything that's external outside of this vessel is an illusion. Race is an illusion, all illusion. So we got to bring ourselves all the way back, like flipping the pages back. God showed me this other new little trick, but I ain't going to show y'all on YouTube. I always said I would. But it's like a speedy way to get into meditation. I'm talking about, it's so fast, it's as fast as the breath of a second of a breath. But I said I would never show y'all on here. And when I'm lazy, I do that as I walk or something, or sitting down. And you know, if y'all watching me, you might say, he ain't doing it, but actually I did do it, you just didn't see it. But you would, if you look hard enough, you'll notice immediately I go into the stir, because I just did it. Good God, oh my. My grandma danced like that. She hate when I say that. My grandma had the weirdest dance, bro. Oh, pap pap. But that's it, y'all. And when I didn't even know this, though. So it was like, I was the kind of person who was moving in the fast lane. I said I wanted a nice car. I went out there and hustled up the money, and I got it. You know, and I fisted it up. I did all that. So it took somebody to go through the extreme to either selling their soul or almost selling their soul to put me in the depth of solitude that winded up being the biggest blessing anyone could have gave to me, blissfulness. Because that was the first time in my life. I was always a popular kid. I was always the hood star. I was always the popular kid. I was always cool. So it was like, when I got trapped in this situation, which was in 2020, it winded up, the first year I pouted about it, but it winded up being the best moment and the best time of my life. Just chilling with me and the divine. But yeah, it's inside of you. And then I asked God, I said, why my life was so bad then? And God said one thing that just made me feel so bad when I had that near-death experience. God said, maybe you want to look at your raps. And man, I ain't really wrote nothing since because of that. And my writing done fell way off because I ain't been writing it so long. I'm going to start back writing, though. It might take me about 42 hours to get back into it. I have to write 3 songs, then I should be back right. But if I do that. But I looked at my raps. My whole life looked like my raps. It was like I kept repeating the same error. I kept repeating my trials and tribulations in my raps. So y'all go back and look at it yourself. And if you didn't sell yourself out to get no to get no money, you gonna realize, man, my life look like my raps. Yeah. And I remodify my raps by rapping with circular people. One, I made sure I didn't cuss. Because a man only cusses because he ain't got the words to say. 2, I wanted to make sure I had one of the best rap, if not the best rap on the song. Especially seeing that they were going hard with the cussing and everything. And that transformed my whole vocabulary, library, and myself. And I did exactly what I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. And if y'all could go back to, like I said, my Facebook, I got one of my Facebook, got a lot of my songs on it, but they snatched them when they started gang stalking me. They snatched them. But you go listen to my raps, you'll be like, man, he ain't lying, bro. And what I did, I started, as I got older, I evolved my raps with my age, because I ain't finna be long-winded, 40-something years old, trying to twist. I don't mind it, but I already was struggling with it at a young age. So I started getting myself in more comfortable rap style, because I do music till I die, 'cause I love music. And that's what I did. And I never had nobody to battle with, so I battled with God. You know, God to rap with me. I'm talking about literally. When I was chilling with that flame, I showed her. I come up with a word, and the Astro will come up with a word for that word to rhyme with the word. Like, literally. I can do that in front of anybody's face. Just like that. That's the kind of relationship. I've been alone for so long, I just built a relationship with the spiritual realm. So, y'all go check that message out. Infinite Water, man. Me and my son used to watch him all the time when he was young. When I did have him with me. But him, Muji, we used to watch him, Muji, and some other people all the time. Mr. Ballin. all the time. We would watch him all the time. We be laughing together, tripping about it. But he wasn't but like 1 year old. But anyway, yeah, that's all it is, y'all. So you can pop the locks in your mind. You can pop the locks anywhere after that. You can reconstruct your whole life around you. Literally. We all can. And that's what elevation is. Raising your frequency. Putting the machine back in its place. And putting man back in its place. Amen.